Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us this Monday. I'm Jeanelle Slade. Jay is off tonight. The campaign battle over Initiative 185 just keeps getting more and more expensive. So far, between both sides, a total of $17 million spent or raised on the so-called tobacco tax initiative. 185 would raise state tobacco taxes and make permanent Montana's Medicaid expansion, which provides health coverage to nearly 100,000 low-income Montanans. Tax revenue from I-185 would help pay the state's cost of Medicaid expansion, as well as fund some other state programs. Last month, the maker of Marlboro cigarettes donated $3.5 million to the campaign against 185. In total, 2 tobacco companies have put more than $12 million into that campaign against the initiative. I-185 supporters have raised or spent a total of nearly $5 million on their campaign. Now, Montana hospitals are behind most of the $2.7 million that the campaign brought in just last month. Today, Montana Governor Steve Bullock and representatives from both St. Vincent Healthcare and Billings Clinic joined together to show support. Governor Bullock says the initiative is good for our economy and it's good for the health care of Montanans, our seniors, and our veterans.
What it does is it fully funds our Medicaid expansion population, which is about 100,000 Montanans that get health care. Provides new money for senior citizens, for our veterans, and it also provides dollars for tobacco cessation and prevention.
From an emergency physician's perspective is access. This provides primary care access to reduce health care cost and utilization, and that affects us all. When the cost of insurance is increasing faster than the rate of inflation for a decade, we've got to stem the tide, and this is one of the ways.
Now, opponents of I-185 are against permanently funding Medicaid expansion and are concerned about what they call the high cost of the program. The University of Montana School of Pharmacy just received a new grant that could help bring the best and brightest to the forefront of medicine. MTN's Jill Valley explains.
These are first-year pharmacy students at the University of Montana. This is a competitive and academically tough program. And not all will make it through, for many reasons. A career in medicine is challenging after all, for some even more so.
What's this?
But the UM-Skaggs School of Pharmacy just received a new grant from the U.S. Health Resources and Services Administration. It will assist future students who won't have an easy road to graduation.
They're low income. They are a first-generation student. They may have been in a high school that had no science labs. They may have come from a community that has no role models. That means they need to have some help to catch up or get up to speed when they're applying to a particular health care program.
The $3 million grant lasts 5 years, and it's twofold, providing some early instruction to pharmacy students, a preview to what they're about to face when classes start, and a health careers academy that supports students during school with tutors and faculty mentors.
Whatever it takes for them to be successful, then that's what we're offering in the academy. So we really want the student to be prepared when they are applying for a professional school.
This grant hopes to help those students who enter the school either with an academic or financial disadvantage to succeed. It's then hoped when they get their professional degrees, they'll return to their own communities to serve as dentists, physical therapists, or doctors. Some college students have to work while in school or have family obligations, and trying to balance that with a very challenging degree in pre-med or pharmacy can be a game ender. Well, this grant supports them so they can concentrate on school and make it to graduation.
The number I would give you is that pre-meds across the nation, 70% of them don't make it to their senior year. They become business majors or something else. We know that, and we do everything to increase that retention.
A different grant like this recently helped 70 Native American students earn their degree in pharmacy, a success story the department hopes to continue with this new grant money. In Missoula, Jill Valley, MTN News.
Thanks, Jill. And as Jill mentioned, the Academy will also grant scholarship money to some students so they do not have to work a job while in school. The One Big Sky project, an ongoing topic of discussion for the Magic City. Tonight during a City Council work session, Hammes Company President Bob Dunn gave an update and presentation on the development of that project. Q2's Zoe Zandora was there to bring us the very latest. Zoe.
That's right, Jeanelle. A lot of details, too small to dive into, but the big concept is certainly taking shape. Dunn presented an extensive analysis tonight and says Billings has proven itself as an established destination and profitable area. He says there are three main points of the development moving forward: to build a destination, diversify operations, and leverage the Montana experience. I was able to ask Dunn a question many people have about the development: where will the concept take form?
As we've advanced the master planning, there's going to be, we think there will be a series of nodes of development in downtown that will activate different sectors of downtown Billings. And as far as the convention center, it's probably a little bit premature at this point to say there's a certain site that it will be located on. As we've done our analysis, our takeaway is, there's probably a dozen locations downtown that could support the program.
So what's next? Dunn says it's time to focus on the what, how, where, and when the project will financially and physically work. In November, they aim to present a draft to the city of the One Big Sky development plan, and in December, a final draft. Jeanelle?
All right, thanks so much, Zoe. As FEMA gears up for a national wireless emergency alert this Wednesday, Yellowstone County residents may experience more of these alerts in their future. Right now, Billings utilizes these sirens, some of which are 3 decades old, to notify of an emergency. There are about 24 of them, but the city is quickly outgrowing that number, and some are aging out. Kent O'Donnell with the Yellowstone County Sheriff's Office says the sirens cost $10,000 a year to maintain. So now city and county leaders are in negotiations with wireless emergency alert vendors to install the technology this winter.
So we've been looking at a couple different vendors to come up with our own system. And if this all works out, there'll be a partnership between Yellowstone County and the city of Billings, and we could do everything from grassland fires or a local tornado, something of that sort, or an impending snowstorm and severe weather alerts.
And O'Donnell tells us the Yellowstone County Emergency Alert text messaging system could also be used to notify residents of power outages or even when snow plows are out on the streets. Turning to weather, Bob, we saw a little bit of snow over the weekend, but the High Line is going to get a repeat performance.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's going to be the case. It wasn't the biggest snow here in south central Montana, but it was indeed the first one. And here are some of the big snowfall amounts we had. As you see, they're not great, but they're for the first one, they're not bad. 18 miles southwest of Fishtail had 3 inches. Red Lodge had 2. Same thing in Rapplejay, had 2 inches of snow 10 miles east of Mold. And Billings Airport had 1.4 inches of snow. You might have had a little bit more on the west end, but that's what we had there. And as you can see, we do have this, a winter weather advisory for the front range of the Rockies. Could see maybe 1 to 3 inches of snow in Glacier Park, up to 9 inches in some cases. On the other side of the mountain, it's a winter storm warning that could see maybe 5 to 8 inches of snow with local amounts up to 22 inches. Now there it is. It's a cold front that's moving in. It'll probably start producing rain showers in the Billings area sometime tomorrow morning. And then after that, it looks like the whole thing just kind of moves out of the way by Wednesday evening. But most of the snow will continue to stay along the High Line. Our forecast, we'll chat about that. It's going to be kind of wet in a few more minutes.
All right, thanks so much, Bob. Well, today marks the 1-year anniversary of the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history. 58 people killed and hundreds more injured after a gunman opened fire at a country music festival in Las Vegas. Tonight, Chris Martinez shows us how those victims are being remembered.
As the sun rose over Las Vegas Monday morning, hundreds gathered to remember the victims of the Route 91 Harvest Festival massacre, killed 1 year ago today.
We can't let this define us and let evil win. We must continue to fight. I refuse to let it take one more thing from me.
Organizers released 58 doves, one for each victim killed, when a gunman fired into the audience of 22,000 country music fans from a hotel window on the Vegas Strip.
In addition to those killed, more than 800 were injured and thousands remain affected by the tragedy. Many came back here to Las Vegas to mark the grim anniversary.
Among them, survivor Cynthia Garcia of California.
It seems like it was just yesterday, to be honest. No one understands the way we feel. You know, the terror that we had that night, the sadness that we have for the 58. It's just overwhelming.
Overwhelming, too, for families of the victims like Angelica Cervantes. Her son, Eric Silva, was working security that night. He's one of the men and women captured in these portraits, painted to honor the lives lost.
The much pain for me.
That pain, a year later, she says, every bit as strong as on day one. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Las Vegas.
And tonight, the lights of the famed Vegas Strip will temporarily go dark in honor of the victims just after 10 o'clock Vegas time. Coming up on tonight's 10 o'clock news, we are cleared for takeoff for a trip to the past when Billings Logan International Airport got off the ground. Plus, it's a sky-high treat for skiers. A Big Sky will take you to the slopes. And in sports tonight, Scott shows us who earns the #1 spot in Q2's Game Changers.
You're watching MTN News with Jay Cohn and Jeanelle Slade. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Green. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.